Okay, so I'm just going to jump right into this video. It's going to be my 40th birthday at midnight tonight, so in a few hours here. And I wanted to create this concept called, 40 for 40, and just jot down 40 life lessons that I've had or that I think that I value over my, last 40 years. And I think I wanted to put this together because it was a reminder that, how many things we think about in our lives and how many lessons we go through. And yet sometimes we forget the importance of our past and our experience and what we've learned. So the first lesson is never value someone else's short-term thoughts or wants over your long-term life or goals. So I think this is an important one because there's a lot of times where we're so worried about what other people think. And in the short term, we go, should I take this job? Should I date this person? Should I spend this money? Should I travel to this country or take this trip? And we're worried about how other people will view it or how, the photos of the photo album will come back. And we don't think about what's the experience for us. And in the short term, it seems like it's really important to break down and analyze why someone might like what you did or give you confirmation for it. But in the long term, you look back on those things and you always think, well, why did I make that decision? Why did I do that thing where I didn't really value it, but I wanted someone else to value it? And in the end, in the long run, they didn't really value it either. So it's always better to think about your long-term life and your long-term goals over somebody else's short-term wants. Number 2 is develop your self-esteem and self-confidence. I tell a lot of people that I talk to, if I could give everybody in the world one thing, it wouldn't be money, it wouldn't be skills or talent, it'd just be self-confidence. Self-confidence, I don't think there's anything that you can replace it with. And a lot of people want to have it quickly, but it takes time of doing things, failing, getting better, and really learning that you're able to accomplish the things you want to accomplish. And the more you build those skills and the more things that you do that are like that, you'll build more and more self-confidence. It comes with just getting over the hurdle of taking the risk, doing the thing. If you fail, learn, come back, do it again. If you win, you're going to feel like you have a better chance of doing it again the next time. And there's no substitute for that. There's no replacement for that. 3 is build mutually beneficial and enduring social relationships. I think I use the word mutually beneficial and enduring because both of those are really important to me. That sometimes we have people in our lives where we're just helping or they're just helping us. And those are great relationships and we should have those. But you never want to be in a situation where the bulk or almost all of your relationships are one-sided in some way, where you're taking exclusively or someone's taking exclusively from you. And that can just be time, that could be energy, thought, money, whatever it is. But having people that you have a back and forth and a rapport with over the long term, especially when it's mutually beneficial, I think gives you a sense of comfort and satisfaction and understanding that there are people that you can truly share your life with. Number 4 is avoid actions that create long-term regret. I think this is one of the things that I try to think about the most, that, there's times where I've been angry at people. There's times where I wanted to have a certain reaction to something. And I was well warranted in having that reaction or having that thought or even making that statement or saying that thing. But when I think of the long term and I go, okay, in 10 years, will I look back and go, was that a bad move? Was that something I shouldn't have said? Was that something I shouldn't have done? I might enjoy the action or the statement in the moment, and it might give me short-term satisfaction. But if I have to think about that thing every year and, constantly, or when I'm reminded of that person or that situation, it comes back and it haunts me. The short-term moment is never worth the long-term thought and regret of like, God, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have been in that position. I shouldn't have acted that way. And we're all going to make mistakes. And that's just a lesson for me that I always try my best to live by, is to not do things that I'll look back and regret. Number 5 is explore your mind, body, and soul completely. So I'm using the word completely again here because I think we all have periods of time where we do explore our mind, our body, our soul, and there are things that prompt that or trigger that. And we may be in a situation where we're just going through a breakup, a career transition, a feeling of, low self-confidence or self-esteem, abandonment, whatever it may be. And we have to remind ourselves that we should use those triggers to improve our state of being. But we also have to be cognizant of the fact that we should always be looking to improve those things and not just having momentary time periods where there are triggers and where there are things that make you want to work on those aspects of your life, and to remind yourself to always work on those aspects. Like, how do you get better mentally? How do you get better physically and spiritually, emotionally? What can you do that's going to make you feel like a better human being in the long run? I think it's really important.